Hey everyone. Okay, in my last video, I discussed my idea for a new federal multi-state lottery that I think would be very, very good for this country. And of course, I'm not sure if it would take legislation to get it started or if it could be implemented the same way the Mega Millions or Mega Ball and Powerball, um, whatever you want to call them, were implemented. Okay. That would be something for the higher ups to figure out. But anyway, I've been expanding my thoughts on this as far as with the AI, Google's Gemini AI system, and I have been, thinking about what I would really love or how I would really love to see this money spent. Like I mentioned about roads, um, hospitals, uh, malls, firefighters, and things like that. Okay. Well, I'm going down each area and I've been asking, like, I've been coming up with my own thoughts of how I feel like the money should be spent. And I've been putting it in my question for this AI and for it to create like a report that could be used and everything. And so right now I'm working on the hospital situation. I would love to see lottery money go to hospitals, but the most important thing I think, as far as hospitals go, is the wage situation. Okay, I think hospitals definitely need to be paying more uh, and better wages to their support staff, such as housekeeping, the floor maintenance people, and the kitchen staff. Because I have worked at a hospital, a local hospital, and they did not pay very good. It was just maybe a dollar or two over minimum wage. In as time went by, they would start freezing people's salaries and hourly uh, wages and everything. Or what I mean is the like normally you would get like a 2% wage every year, or we were supposed to. They would freeze it, and we would not get it. And this would be frozen for like quite a few years in a row until somebody finally kicks up enough about it, and then they would give us, a 2% raise, and then the next year we wouldn't get one. That was just to shut us up for the time being. I don't like that, and which I understand that everything is for profit, even nonprofit is for profit. That's the way the world runs, and I understand that hospitals can't run on fumes. There has to be money. That's why I think a lottery could come in and provide that extra money that hospitals need that they're not getting from patient care and their other avenues that they currently have. This money could come into play and it can fill that gap, and it definitely could fill it with the pay situation. So I got to thinking that, especially in the states that still go by the federal guidelines as far as the minimum wage, which is 7.25 right now, I believe. Okay, so what I thought would be a good idea and a starting out point for support staff and certain other staff would be a 95% increase on that is added back to that. I think that would be a wonderful thing. I think that it would, uh, bring the pay up to around $14, like right here. This is the formula that uh, that I got help coming up with, um, and it would average a little over $14. Okay, all right. Then after 90 days, you get a 1% raise added to that. Okay, and then each year you would get a 2% raise added to your pay. I think that would be wonderful. And the good thing is, I would not want that to be able to be frozen by the hospital. Like, I want to take that right away from them. I want to put that on the lottery commission. So only the lottery commission can take that away from, from the situation. If a hospital is caught under this proposal, if a hospital is caught violating either the 1% or the 2% or both, they will have this money stripped from them, and they won't be allowed to get it in the future. I think that's fair, and I think that will, make sure that people do get paid and that their money isn't or frozen, and they don't have to keep worrying about everything else increasing around them, and they're not able to survive. Even $14 right now, I think, might be a little on the low side, but it beats nothing. And I feel like, after a year or two, when it starts increasing, then it will, be better, Uh, especially if certain things start kind of coming back down, which I know that's wishful thinking, such as eggs, and which I know eggs have kind of come down, and just other things. If things kind of level off, I think this will work out pretty well. Okay. Also, I would like for them to bring back um, people that they took away, certain jobs that they took away. I noticed when they went to doing all these cutbacks and everything. I remember they used to have patient attendants, or people that would get women that would go around and give baths and stuff to the patients. They called it something else at the hospital I worked at, but I done forgot what they called it. But for the most part, you can call it like a patient attendant. But they would go around and give the baths, and that would take that stress off the nurses, just like the orderlies. I noticed a lot of hospitals did away with the orderlies, which is mostly the male helpers who would go around and help lift patients and, help tend to their needs, maybe give them a bath or whatever. Um, I think that is very important, as well as the nurses' aides. I think they need to be brought back into the hospital setting. I think that if they bring these people back, I think that would help so much as far as the nursing staff. It will free them up to do their paperwork, because they have a lot of paperwork to do. And it will also help them focus more with the doctors and more on the patient. I just think this would be a wonderful thing if all this could be brought back and could be utilized for the patient's sake. I think it would make a lot of things run a lot smoother in these hospitals. Um, and let's see what else. Also, the training. Uh, I also had that feature, like in the report, I for the proposal, I should say, the lottery proposal. I added that I would love to see adult education and job training added to the things that would be paid for by the lottery. And see, this would fit right in there. Like the training of the nurses' aides and the orderlies and the patient attendants, that could all be covered under the lottery money, under the adult training and job training and education. I feel like that would be wonderful. That would take the burden off of these people, as well as off the hospitals and all that. So if the hospitals aren't required to have to pay for that, and it's paid for by the lottery commission, then I think it would be a lot better for everybody. And also it would, because see, sometimes nurses' aides and everything, they're locked down to whatever facility pays for their training. Like if they don't pay for it out of their own pocket, if a hospital forks over the money to train them, or a nursing home or whatever, they're locked into that facility for a certain amount of time, and they have to work for them in order to I guess what you say, kind of pay back this investment that was put into them. Okay, so if they could undo that with this, I think that would help them to where if they are working at a bad facility, just say, for example, they get hired in and they get trained and everything, but they don't like how everything's working out, then they are free to go somewhere else. I think that would be a wonderful thing for them to not have that, that burden on them and that stress. So anyway, and that way they don't have to quit. They don't just have to just up and quit. Naturally they would be quitting if they went somewhere else, but they wouldn't be have their, I guess what you say, their record tainted, so to speak, when they did go somewhere else. Okay. But anyway, that's pretty much what I've got so far with this, and that may be the extent of it. In which, of course, I also asked it, or it asked me if it wanted me to have it to give examples of what the training would consist of for these people, like a guideline of, the training that they would receive and all that. And also it created like a I guess what you say, a job offer thing, and what it would include, and it would explain that the hospital or facility is required to give you the 1% 90-day raise as well as the 2%, and if they violate it, that you can report them and all that stuff. That will be included in the contract. That's what I would love to see added, to where you will be fully aware of your rights. Okay. But anyway, so I just, thought I would make this video and, discuss it and see what you guys think about that. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.